are connected in series or parallel, then we call it as a complex circuit. Okay. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this session. In this session, we'll continue with the problems. So, take down the next problem. What is the equivalent resistance between A and B? Okay, where is A and B? This is node A and this is node B. Okay, find out the what is the equivalent resistance. Make just now, as I told you, a simple circuit is a circuit where we can easily identify whether these resistors are connected in series or parallel. If we can easily identify whether they are connected in series or parallel, then we can easily simplify those circuits, because we know if it is series, what are the characteristics. If resistors are connected in parallel, what are the characteristics, and we can apply the all the formulas. We can apply the analysis on top of that, and we can solve the circuit. So this is the circuit diagram. Note down and try to solve this particular problem. What you have to do is you have to find the equivalent resistance between A and B. You can see we have all the resistors having the value of R. So what you can do is just pull out this node. Okay, just pull out this node on this side and see what happens. That is the hint. That is the hint for solving. So just pull this on this side. How you will see, this is node A. Okay, if you pull this node on this side, node A, then one resistor, one more resistor, and this is one more resistor. Then we have this resistor and this resistor, and this point is B. Can anybody identify whether these are connected in series or parallel? Or any ideas? Are you able to solve this? Anybody solving this? Okay, what is Wheatstone bridge? Mm, Parallel. Okay, it's okay. Shifa, needs little more analysis before we see they are connected in parallel or series. Anybody, what is Wheatstone bridge? Everybody remembers the Wheatstone bridge?
Sir, we will find the register in the presence of three registers.
This circuit, just I ask you to, so just imagine you are pulling this node on this side, okay, and just you are tilting it horizontally, so it will look like this. So I have just pulled this node A on this side, and we have resistor R. So this is very similar to your Wheatstone bridge. Is that correct? So what is a
Yes, sir.
balanced? Yeah, what is a balanced Wheatstone bridge?
P by Q is equals to R by S.
Very good. Huh? So assuming this is PQ, P by Q is equal to R by S. So in this case also, just if I consider this as a P, R by R is 1. So we don't know the value of the R, but whatever the value is, R by R, it is 1. Similarly, R by R is 1. So what happens in your Wheatstone bridge, if it is a balanced circuit, what would be the current in this branch? Normally you will connect a galvanometer, isn't it? What would be the galvanometer reading?
Sir.
Hmm? what would be the galvanometer reading if it is a balanced Wheatstone bridge? Okay, so if it is a balanced Wheatstone bridge, if you connect a galvanometer here, galvanometer which detects the current, so it will show it as 0. The current would be 0, and if the current flowing in this particular branch is 0, what is the meaning of that? I have already told. When the current will flow, when there will be flow of a current, Shraddha, correct,
When
0.
Wheatstone bridge is
Huh?
balanced.
Samir, can you come again?
Sir, when Wheatstone bridge is balanced.
Wheatstone bridge is balanced, so current in the middle branch is 0. Okay, so what is the meaning of current 0? Or rather, when the current will flow? Okay, we have already discussed current will flow only when there is a potential difference between 2 points. Suppose if the current has to flow in this branch, there should be a potential difference between node C and node D. If potential of node C is higher than potential at node D, the current will flow like this. Now, in a balanced Wheatstone bridge, the potential at C is exactly the same as potential at D. Means, for example, if the potential here is 5 volt, potential here is also 5 volt. When both are at the same potential, current will not flow. That means what? It is as good as there is no resistor connected here, because current is not flowing there. Okay, only it is present in the diagram, but actually current is not flowing. Why current is not flowing? The potential at C and potential at a D are exactly the same. That is why there is no current in this branch. So that means what? It is as good as this resistor is not present. You can redraw this circuit like this. Okay, it is a balanced Wheatstone bridge, therefore C and D nodes will be at same potential, so no current flows in the branch CD and can be considered as no resistor present between path C and D. Everybody convinced why we are removing this resistor R? Okay, because there is no current. Because this and why there is no current? Because this and this node are at the same potential, so no current is flowing, so there is no question of resistance. When there is no current, then there is no question of resistance or anything, so we remove this. Then what happens is we get this resistor connected in parallel in series with this resistor. Similarly, this resistor connected in series with this resistor, and these two series resistors are connected in parallel. So this series resistor total resistance would be 2R. This series resistance equivalent value would be 2R. 2R and 2R connected in parallel. What would be the equivalent resistance of 2R and 2R connected in parallel? We can use Rp is equal to R by N. So in this case, R is 2R divided by 2. That would be R. So what is the equivalent resistance between A and B? It is equal to R. So you can use that method, or you can say 1 by Rp is equal to 1 by 2R plus 1 by 2R. That is 2 by 2R. That is equal to 1 by R. Therefore, Rp is equal to R. This is how we are going to solve. Equivalent resistance between A and B. This is the equivalent resistance. 1 by Rab is equal to 1 by 2R plus 1 by 2R is equal to 2 by 2R is equal to 1 by R. Therefore, Rab is equal to R. Okay, I hope everybody understood that. You take down this next problem. This is from the question paper. Okay, so here what we have, the given circuit is given like this. What we have to find? We have to find the unknown resistance X. Where is unknown resistance X? So this is this branch. And second one is equivalent resistance between A and B. So we have to find the equivalent resistance. Then third one is branch current. So 1 2 3 4 branches are there. We have to find the branch currents for all of those. So and what are the given values? Given values, you can see here the total current that is entering the all the branches is given, that is 4 amperes. I is equal to 4 amperes. This resistance is given 8 ohm. Current in this particular branch is given, I1 is 2.5 amperes. This X is unknown, the branch current is unknown, resistance is known 40 ohm, branch current is unknown, this branch resistance is known 25 ohm, I4, you can say this as I4, the current I4 is unknown. Try to find out the answers for this. Okay, try to solve this. How will start the solving this particular problem? So with respect to parallel, we know a lot of formulas are there. So first one is what? I is equal to I1 plus I2 plus I3 plus I4. So 4 is known, I1 is known, but we have I2, I3 and I4, 3 unknowns. So we will keep that equation as is. Okay, and let us not write the equation for the effective resistance because X is not known, which will not give any value addition. Then next, what we can do? Any other ideas how to solve this problem? How you will solve the problem? So there is a one way. If you identify that, then you can easily find out different unknowns here. Where you will start? Anybody? Any ideas? Shifa, Samir, others, any ideas how you will start? This is very simple problem.
Sir, if we uh, we can solve by symmetric method when two sides are same, we can only solve by only one side at junction, sir.
V is equal to I into R.
V is equal to I into R. Okay. Where you will apply that?
V is equal to I1 into R1.
Very good, Soumya. V is equal to I1 into R1. Okay. So all different ideas. Okay. So here what she is saying is the if we here for this branch current is known and resistance is known, that is V is equal to I1 into R1. Directly I will find the voltage, isn't it? V is equal to I1 into R1. I1 is given 2.5 and R1 is 8 ohm, isn't it? So I will find the voltage across this branch. If I know the voltage across the branch, the same voltage would be applied to all other branches. So how much is I have not solved this. So V is equal to I1 into R1, that is 8 into 2.5. How much is 8 into 2.5?
20.
20 volts. So V is 20 volts. 20 volts is applied across this, 20 volt is applied across this resistor, and 20 volt is applied across this resistor. So we can start with that value. Now V is equal to I2 into X2, I2 into X, but I2 is unknown, so we will not use that equation as of now. We will move to next one. V is equal to 40 into I3. V is 20, right? 20 is equal to 40 into I3, or I3 is equal to 20 by 40. That is 20 by 40 is 0.5 amperes. So I3 we found out. Similarly, this is I4. V is equal to 25 into I4. I4 is equal to 20 by 20.
ये पंक्या
ಹೇಳೋ
ನೀ ಬರ್ಗುಡ್ಕ ಕ್ಲಾಸ ಬಂದತ್ಲೋ
ಹಂಗಿದಾನು ಬೆಂಕಿದಾನು
ಇವತ್ತು ಬಂದಿ
ಯಾವಾರ ಒಮ್ಮೆ ಬರ್ತಾನ ಖರೆ ಹಂಗ ಬರ್ತಾನು
ಹಾ
ನೀ ಯಾಕೆ ತರೋ ಖರೆ
ಹಿಂಗ ದಿನ ಬರ್ತವ ಅವನೊಂದು ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೋಗ್ತಾವ
ಬರ್ತಾನ
ನಿನ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲದೆ
ನಾವ್ ಜಾಯ್ನ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದೆ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ನಮ್ದು
ಅದು ಖರೆ ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅದು ಸರ್ಲಿ ಹೋದರು
ನಾಷ್ಟಾ ಮಾಡಕ್
ಊಟ ಟೈಮ್ ಐತಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ನಾಷ್ಟ ಮಾಡಿದಾರು
ನೀ ಯಾಕೋ ಈ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್
ಏನಾಗೈತೆ
ನಾನ ತಗೋಲೇನ ಕ್ಲಾಸ
ವಿಜ್ಜು ಬಾಯ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪಿ ಬರ್ತ್ಡೇ
ನಾನ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ತಗೋಲೇನ ಏನ್ರು
ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್
My next concept is good morning, good morning,
ಗುಡ್ ಮಾರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಸರ್
good morning.
ಗುಡ್ ನೈಟ್
Yes, ಮಲ್ಕೋಲಿ ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಗುಡ್ ನೈಟ್ ಐತಾರಲ್ಲ ಮಲ್ಕೋಲಿ ಉಳ್ಕಿದವ್ರ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಕೇಳ್ರಿ ಅಂತಕ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಅಟೆಂಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡ್ರಿ
ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಆಗತೈತಿ ತಗೋರಿ ಸರ್ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ
ಓಕೆ ಓಕೆ
ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್
ಸರ್ ಸರ್ ನಾ ಪೈಲಾ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಕುಂತಿಲ್ರಿ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಇದು ರೆಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ನಾಗ ಹಾಕ್ರಿ
ಎಸ್ ಎಸ್ ಓಕೆ
Guys, class is being recorded.
मालूम है
ಬರಂಗಿಲ್ಲ
क्लास रिकॉर्ड से मालूम है पता जरा पीसी में अबे काम है तेरे पास
क्या बोला?
ಏ ಮಕ್ಕೋರಿ ಹೋಗ್ರಲ್ಲ ಎಲ್ಲಾರು ಮಕ್ಕೋರಿ ಮಕ್ಕಳ್ರ
जरा व्हाट्सएप
आया रुक। Okay, sorry, I got disconnected. Where did I stop before I got disconnected? What we were discussing? Anybody?
So current I4.
Okay, current I4. Okay. I don't know like when I got connected. So I4, I will take that. So now we know how to find I4. I4 is equal to the applied voltage V 25 into I4. Therefore, I4 is equal to V by 25. That is 20 divided by 25. That we get it as 0.8 amperes. Now we know I1, we know I3, and we know I4. What equation we can use? The total current I is equal to sum of the branch current. I is equal to I1 plus I2 plus I3 plus I4. And only unknown is I2. Therefore, I2 is equal to I minus I1 minus I3 and minus I4. If you calculate that one, you get the I2 value as 0.2 amperes. Once you know the I2 value, okay, let me share it again. Thank you, Darshan. Okay. Now, once we know the I2, then we will use the formula V is equal to X into I2. Now, only unknown in that equation is X. So, X is equal to V by I2. V is 20 ohm, I2 is 0.2. So, 20 divided by 0.2, we get it as 100 ohm. Now, we know all the resistances. This is 8 ohm, this is 100 ohm, this is 40 ohm, and this is 25 ohm. What would be the equivalent resistance? I have not calculated here. The equivalent resistance is 1 by Rp is equal to 1 by 8 plus 1 by 100 plus 1 by 40 plus 1 by 25. Can anybody calculate, please, equivalent resistance? So always how you have to approach is you have to write all the equations that you know which are relevant to the circuit which you are trying to solve, and in that equation you should make sure that you get only one unknown. If there is only one unknown, you will get a value for that. If there are two unknowns, then you have to go for the next equation where you have only one unknown. For example, why we started with this branch? Because V is equal to I1 into R1. I1 is known and R1 is known. So that is how V is the only unknown. We found out the voltage. Then we move to V is equal to X into I2. But X is also unknown, I2 is also, two unknowns are there. So let us not proceed with that equation. Then you have to proceed with next. V is equal to 40 into I3. Now V is known, I3 is the only unknown. So you will find out the I3. Then V is equal to 25 I4. I4 is the only unknown. Then we use the equation I is equal to I1 plus I2 plus I3 plus I4 because I2 is the only unknown. Right, that is how you should try to solve. You have to find out the equation. If there are two unknowns, you have to go with the next equation where you can find there is only one unknown. So then once you get the answer, you go back to the previous equation where there were two unknowns, uh, 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 give the value for the known value. Then you will be able to find the other unknown which is present in that particular equation. What is the equivalent resistance? Did anybody
So,
calculate? Shifa.
so 0.2.
No,
5
no.
ohm.
5 ohm. Okay, 0.2 Shifa. 0.2 is 1 by Rp. You are telling the 1 by Rp. So you have to be very careful. I told you. Let me. So anybody else got the 5 ohm?
So 5 ohm.
Okay. So you made that mistake, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
make sure in the exam also, please remember what is on the right hand side in the case of a equivalent resistor is 1 by Rp. You have to take the reciprocal of, this is the right hand value, you get 0.2 reciprocal of this, that is 1 divided by 0.2. You have to reciprocate left hand side and right hand side. 5 ohm. I think 5 ohm is the correct answer. So I haven't solved that. So hopefully now everybody is able to solve it. If not, you take these values, note down these values. Equivalent resistance X value is 100 ohm. Equivalent resistance is 5 ohm, and branch currents are these. I2 is 0.2, I3 is 0.5, and I4 is 0.8 amperes. Try to solve on your own. If you get any problems, let me know. Okay. So far what we did was we looked into a simple circuits. What is the meaning of simple circuits? Simple circuits is nothing but where we can easily identify whether a set of resistors are connected in series or parallel. By just looking at the circuit, we are able to figure out, then we call it as a simple circuit. And if it is very difficult to identify how the resistors are connected, if you are not able to figure out whether it is connected in series, parallel, um, multiple EMF sources are used, okay, there are many loops are there, many branches are there, and they are interconnected in such a way we don't know, we don't see the resistor between common points, then we call it as a complex circuits. So complex circuits, in order to solve the complex circuits, we will not be able to use the directly the Ohm's law. We have to use certain other law which is found out by the scientist Kirchhoff. So first we will understand what is complex circuit. Complex circuits consist of more than one EMF in the circuit, and when resistors are connected in a complicated manner, such circuits cannot be simplified into series and parallel combination. Such circuits are known as complex circuits. So we will see the example, then you will understand what we are saying by not able to figure out whether they are connected in series and parallel, and there will be multiple EMF sources. So battery sources will be multiple, and in reality, you will rarely find the simple circuits. In reality, what we have is the very complex circuits. So for analyzing those complex circuits, Ohm's law can be used only for the simple circuits which involve series and parallel combination. Kirchhoff gave two laws which can be used to solve the complex circuits. The two laws are named after the same scientist. The first law is called as a Kirchhoff's current law or KCL, and second one is the Kirchhoff's voltage law or KVL. So we will see what is the Kirchhoff's current law and what is Kirchhoff's voltage law, and how we can use these two laws to solve any complex circuits. Okay, first we will begin with the Kirchhoff's current law, KCL. Kirchhoff's current law is very simple, okay, and it is very intuitive. Means it is naturally how the things should happen. That is what is explained by the Kirchhoff's law. So what the Kirchhoff's law says is, this is a node, okay, node, electrical node or a electrical junction, and many branches are being connected there. So we are not focused on the rest of the circuit, we are just focusing on the a particular node in a electrical circuit. What is a node in an electrical circuit? The point where we have like multiple connections, those are called as a node. So in a node, some currents will be, these are the different branches that are connected together. So current will be flowing in those branches, and also because it is a direct current, it has a definite direction. So they are flowing in a definite direction. Either the current is coming towards the node or it is going away from the node. So that is the direction of the current in each of these branches. What Kirchhoff's current law says is, the sum of the incoming current, so whatever current that is coming into the node, it will be exactly equal to the outgoing current, the sum of the outgoing current. So sum of the incoming currents is equal to sum of the outgoing currents. Here if you see the example, I1 is a incoming, where incoming is with respect to this node, so it is a incoming with respect to this node. I3 is also incoming current with respect to the node, and if you see the current I2, it is going away from the node, so the direction of the current flow is away from the node, or we can call it as an outgoing current. I4 is also outgoing current. And what is KCL? KCL is sum of the incoming currents is equal to sum of the outgoing currents, that is I1 plus I3 is equal to I2 plus I4. Okay, thus the same KCL can be defined as this also. The algebraic sum of current entering a node is equal to algebraic sum of the currents leaving a node in an electrical circuit. So always it is algebraic sum of current that are entering the node, that will be exactly equal to the current algebraic sum of all the currents leaving the node. Or we can say algebraic sum of currents meeting at a junction or a node in a electrical circuit is zero. Means what? If you sum up all these currents, then it would be exactly 0. That is, algebraic sum of the currents meeting at a junction or a node in an electrical circuit is 0. Whichever is easy to understand for you, you can pick up. You need not write both in the exam. Whichever you remember, that is fine. So according to general understanding, this would be very simple. Means sum of incoming currents is equal to sum of outgoing currents. So draw the circuit diagram if this question is asked. This take the few examples of incoming and few currents which are outgoing at node A. So always remember, Kirchhoff's current law is always applied to a node. It is always applied to a node. At node A, sum of incoming currents is equal to sum of outgoing currents. And what are the incoming currents? Sum of incoming currents I1 plus I3 is equal to outgoing sum of outgoing currents I2 plus I4. Therefore, I1 plus I3 is equal to I2 plus I4. If you take these two currents on the left hand side, what we get? I1 plus I3 minus I2 minus I4 is equal to 0, which is nothing but this one, the algebraic sum of currents meeting at a junction or a node in an electrical circuit is 0. So always remember, there is a convention followed for this. When you are using this, you have to assign a sign for the incoming. Let us say, with respect to this, all the incoming currents are positive. Okay, this is 5 amperes and this is 5 amperes. So this is plus 5 amperes, this is minus this is plus 5 amperes, this is also plus 5 amperes, and this will be represented with a negative. This is minus 6 amperes and minus 2 amperes. Okay, that is how we get this sum of all the currents equals to 0. Next is Kirchhoff's voltage law, very very important law for solving the complex circuits. First, what it says is, in any closed electrical circuit or mesh, remember KCL, Kirchhoff's current law, is applied to a node, okay, in an electrical circuit, and Kirchhoff's voltage law is applied to a mesh or a loop. Okay, we will see what is the meaning of the loop or a mesh. In any closed electrical circuit or mesh, the algebraic sum of all electromotive forces, that is EMFs, and voltage drops in resistor is equal to 0. So that is the law. Means what? In case of a electrical circuit, closed electrical circuit or a loop or a mesh, the algebraic sum of all the EMF sources, like I have 3 voltage sources, sum of all the EMF sources is and sum of all the voltage drops in the resistor. Suppose I have 3 or 4 resistors in that particular path. Sum of all those voltage drops, if you add everything together, it will be equal to 0. That is, algebraic sum of EMFs plus algebraic sum of voltage drops is equal to 0. That we write it as sigma EMFs plus sigma voltage drops is equal to 0. We will apply it to the circuit, then we will understand what is the meaning. So this is a one closed electrical circuit or a mesh or a loop. We are taking very simple circuit. So this particular circuit is a very simple circuit. We can analyze using the Ohm's law itself. But for our understanding purpose, we will first apply the KVL on this, and then it will be very easy to apply on other circuits. Here we have resistor R1, R2 connected in series across the voltage source V. If we apply, so we will apply the KVL and KCL to this particular circuit. Before that, we have to follow the certain sign convention. And since you have already studied about the KCL and KVL, you might be comfortable with some kind of a convention already. And if you are comfortable with that convention, you please proceed with that convention. If you want to restart, so this is the convention we are going to follow in rest of our discussion. When we are solving the problem, we will use this sign convention. Okay, so what are the sign conventions we have to follow when we are applying the Kirchhoff's voltage law for electromotive forces, that is EMF sources? When the electrical loop is traced in a particular direction, and if we encounter positive terminal of the EMF, then it is taken as positive, otherwise it is taken as a negative value. Okay, so when we are tracing the circuit, so we are going to trace the a particular electrical circuit. When we are tracing the electrical circuit, what is the tracing means? We are going to start at some point. Okay, so this is the circuit I have. I will mark the nodes as A, B, C, D. Okay, so I will start from A, that is apply KVL to A, B, C, D, A. That is the loop. When I start tracing, so I am going to follow the one direction. So the direction of tracing is going to be the clockwise direction. So I will start from here. This is the direction of tracing. So then I will come across R1, come across R2, and this is the direction of tracing, and I come across the negative plate now. So that is what is being told here. Okay, when in the electrical loop is traced in a particular direction, so we are going to follow direction of clockwise. We are going to use the clockwise tracing. If we encounter a positive terminal, you are tracing the circuit and you encounter across the positive plate of the EMF source, then you will take that voltage as plus. If you come across the negative plate, you are going to take that voltage as minus. So this is the direction of tracing, and if you come like this is the direction, and you come across a positive plate, and let us say this is 20 volts, you will take that as plus 20. And let us say you are tracing the, okay, so Nali, any questions? If you have any questions, let me know. Anybody has any questions? All right, so if you this is the direction of tracing, and this is the EMF source, and you come across the negative plate of the EMF source, and let us say this is 50 volt, then you are going to take it as minus 50 volt. So this is the first sign convention for EMF. If you are tracing the particular electrical mesh, and you come across the positive plate of the EMF source, you are going to take that voltage as plus voltage plus V. And if you come across the negative plate of a EMF source, you are going to take that EMF value as a minus value. Now voltage drop. This is for the EMF source, and next is the voltage drop. For voltage drops, if current through the resistor is in the same direction as that of the direction of tracing of the loop, then it is considered as positive, that is plus IR. Voltage drop is always I into R, V is equal to I into R. So you are going to take that plus IR, otherwise you are going to take it as minus IR. So what is the meaning of that? Suppose you are tracing the, we'll go back to the simple circuit. So here we know that this is a positive plate. The direction of the current would be like this, right? From R1 to R2, the direction would be from here to here. Now the direction of the tracing is also like this, and the direction of the current, both are in the same direction. If both are in same direction, that is direction of the tracing and direction of the current, if both are in the same direction, we will take that voltage drop as plus voltage drop, that is plus I into R. Let us say this is the direction of tracing, and this is the direction of the current. Now the direction of tracing and direction of the current are opposite. In this particular case, we are going to take that voltage drop as negative voltage drop, that is minus into IR. So minus IR, that voltage drop is going to be negative. So when we are doing the analysis for EMF source, if we come across, when we are tracing the circuit, if we come across the positive plate, we are going to take that EMF as positive plus V. And if we come across negative plate of the EMF source, we are going to take that value as minus V. And for the voltage drops, if the direction of tracing and the direction of current both are same, then we take that as a plus voltage drop, that is plus I into R. If the direction of tracing is opposite to the direction of the current, then we will take it as a minus voltage drop, that is minus I into R. Okay, so whatever the simple circuit we had, we are going to apply the voltage law, KVL, Kirchhoff's voltage on top of that. What are the first thing that you should do whenever you have a circuit? The first thing you have to do is you have to mark the nodes. Okay, if the nodes are not marked, first thing is mark the nodes A, B, C, D. What is the first step? Mark the nodes. And what is the second step? Mark the direction of tracing. So here, this is the direction of tracing. I am going to trace the circuit in a clockwise direction. So first step is mark the nodes, all the nodes in the circuit, then mark the direction of tracing, then mark the all the current directions. So right now it is only one loop is there, so we have only one current, so mark that particular current. So complete circuit you have to mark the currents. Once you do these things, then you apply the KVL to the required loop. So in this case, it is the loop where we are going to apply the Kirchhoff's voltage law is A, B, C, D back to A. So we'll start from A. We come across the resistor. Whenever there is a resistor, there is going to be a voltage drop. Okay, voltage drop. And so this is how we are coming. Now you can see my direction of tracing is like this, and the direction of the current is also like this. So I am going to take the voltage drop as plus. Then what is the voltage drop? I into R1. So plus I into R1. Then I come to the next resistor. This is the direction of tracing and this is the direction of the current. Both are in same direction. So again, plus voltage drop. What would be the voltage drop across this resistor? I into R2. I into R2. Then I will start tracing further. C, D, no elements are there. Then I come across the negative plate of the EMF source. When I come across the negative plate, I'm going to take this voltage as minus. So minus V. And then we come back to the point where we started. So we are done with analyzing the complete loop. So you will say equal to 0. So algebraic sum of all the EMFs and algebraic sum of all the voltages equals to 0. So that's how we get I into R1 plus I into R2 is equal to V. So this is how we do the analysis. Please note down this particular circuit. We are going to solve this. I think very similar problem we have solved using the Ohm's law. This particular problem can be a simple problem. Okay, we already solved similar problem. So how the two resistors are connected in this particular diagram, circuit diagram? Anybody? Series, Y series. Series is correct. Y series.
They are connected because
Darshan, can you say it again?
they are connected one after one, sir.
They are connected one after one. Okay, that is also correct. Anything else,
Voltages
Samir?
are different.
Sir, closed loop.
Closed loop. Soumya, what you said?
Voltages are different.
Voltages are different. There is one main characteristic. That is why they are connected in series. What is that characteristic? In case of a series connected resistor, what would be the current. Okay, so one of the important characteristic of a series connected resistors is the same amount of current will flow in both the resistors. So your answers, your observations are correct, but here the why they are in series is same amount of current will flow. So somebody said it is a same loop, one loop is there, correct? One loop means only one current will flow. So if for just argument's sake, I will say if 5 amperes of current will flow, the same 5 amperes will flow through 2 ohm as well as 5 ohm. The same current will flow. That is why they are in series. And these voltage sources, if you try to see, this is trying to push the current in this direction, this is trying to push the current in this direction. Effectively, they are opposing each other. So effective voltage source would be 30 minus 10, that is 20 volt. So you can solve using Ohm's law. Okay, for now, as a homework, in the next class, we will solve it using the KVL and we will just compare the answers. So this is from the question paper. In the question paper, they have said, find the current using KVL. You must use KVL. You should not use the Ohm's law. Okay, we'll see that in the next class. Try to solve using Ohm's law. Then we will, in the next class, we will apply the